What is happening, people? How you darn? How you darn? Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic day. This is the first live stream of the week for the Dynasty channel. We are slowly but surely starting to kind of like transition things over to the redraft channel. It doesn't mean that this channel is going to be like completely dead or anything, but if you haven't subscribed over to the Fantasyland Football channel, look at the way our channel is spelled here, Dynastyland Football. Type in Fantasyland Football on YouTube and you will find us there. We'll be going live very often on that channel, multiple times a week, doing mock drafts, helping you get prepared for your redraft leagues, best ball leagues, whatever the case may be. And we're popping absolute fire on that channel, guys. Like I promise you, absolute bangers every single day on that channel video-wise. So again, make sure you're subscribed over there to the Fantasyland Football channel. But some very, very big news to start today's stream, right, with DJ Moore. My beloved DJ Moore, the guy I've been fighting for last offseason, this offseason. The guy that I've been saying I don't understand why there's such a big gap between DJ Moore and Rome Odunze in Dynasty rankings. I think the Rome Odunze owners, and I love Odunze, by the way. This is not anti-Odunze. This is just pro DJ Moore. I think the anti-DJ Moore guys probably had Rome Odunze, and in their mind, they were like, well, very soon, Keenan will be gone, DJ will be gone. And in my head, I'm just like, guys, DJ Moore's in his prime. Why are they going to let DJ Moore go? So we've been buying DJ Moore all offseason on the Dynasty channel. We have not been drafting him in redraft because I don't like his ADP, but we've been buying him on the Dynasty channel, and the Bears obviously do not want to let this guy go. They give him a 4-year, $110 million extension. When I made that video recently about DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, there was a 10-spot difference in their Dynasty rankings on KTC. One was the wide receiver 14. The other was the wide receiver 24. I guarantee you now that's going to get much, much closer. And in fact, I went out and I just, not a victory lap, but I just said there's a realistic chance that DJ Moore outscores Rome Odunze over the next 3 years in Chicago. There's a realistic chance. Why not? DJ Moore's in his prime. Why not? DJ Moore is a fantastic receiver. So he gets the bag, rightfully deserved, right? I mean, like, he definitely deserved what he got. And now he's staying in Chicago for the foreseeable future. What's up, Angel? I see. What's up, Macy? 36 days until kickoff. We're getting closer and closer. What's up, Styles? What's good, Brizzleton? Yes. What's up, Scribbles? Welcome in. Welcome in. Joel says Roman Wilson carded off. Yeah. So Roman Wilson had a chance to really step in right away and produce, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. What's up, 369? Style says, hypothetically, what kind of plus would you be looking for if we traded from Odunze to DJ Moore? I think what I was advising before this deal was doing a second and first round pick swap. So you get DJ Moore in a first, you send Rome Odunze in a second. I don't think you can do that anymore. So unfortunately, I'm not sure let's see in the next 48 hours how people rank these guys, because I think they'll be much, much closer. But if you want to join today's mock draft, this startup mock draft, the first step is to join the Discord, okay? So I'll put a link to our Discord in the chat. Once you have joined the Discord, you'll see on the left-hand side under the Fantasyland tab with the orange football Z announcements tab, all right? And this is where I'm going to send the link for today's draft, all right? Right in the announcements tab is where the link is going to be sent. It will be first come, first serve. So let's go ahead and send that thing off to y'all here in 3, 2, 1. Okay. And we're going to rock with a Superflex PPR tight end premium 3rd round reversal. Okay, that's the format we're rocking with today. We are full 30 seconds on the clock. Let's get this thing popping, baby. How many startups have you guys done so far this offseason? I know some of y'all are just fiends. You can't get enough of it. Scribble says Hall of Fame game is going to suck. I know. Y'all remember back to the infamous Josh Jacobs Hall of Fame game? I'll never forget. What's up, Brizzleton? Ordering some pizza. Where do you order from? What's your pizza of choice? That's what I want to know. The fantasy football roll got in. You love to see it. Angel's asking the 101 or Waddle 2 firsts. Start 8. Depends on where those firsts are going to end up being, brother. If those are too early projected first, I'll take Waddle in the first. If they're projected late, I'll probably take Marvin. Okay, so in the first 5 picks, in the first 7 picks, we see 6 quarterbacks, 1 wide receiver. This is a strange place to be. We're going to start with a little CeeDee Lamb here at the 108. Let's see what pops back to us here. Prince Street Pizza. Okay, did you guys growing up have like a pizza place around you that was like $2.99 all you can eat buffet? Because I remember when I grew up, I think it was called Cece's. Does anybody remember Cece's Pizza? We'd go there after like any sporting event, any Sunday. Cece's Pizza was like the place to be. All you can eat. I think it was like all you can eat for $3.99, $2.99. Then it went $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, $10, $11, $12.99. I miss those old days. No worries, Angel. Scribble says he had CC's down in Atlanta. I love to see it. Brizzleton says they closed. That's unfortunate. CC's was big in 2012. Absolutely. I mean, me growing up, it was like the spot. I guess that's because we were on a budget. We were balling on a budget. All right, so we see Amon-Ra in round 1, as well as Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams, Bijan, Herbert, Murray. And I get a chance to take the guy who just signed the long-term contract with Jordan Love in round 2. So we'll grab Jordan Love off the board there as our quarterback 1. All right, so sorry guys, I had a cough drop and I don't want to like keep, spitting while I talked. Domino's Pan is legit. Josephan. Brizzleton says this place Blackjack Pizza down the street is pretty good. Okay. Round Table Pizza out in Cali was the best. Okay. Parker says there's still a CC's near him. I love it. Let's keep the CC's brand moving. I mean, actually, how expensive is it? Because let's be honest, the reason we like CC's is because it was like $2.99 all you can eat. So if they bump their prices up to like $11.99 or something, we're not going to CC's. Absolutely not. What's up, Happen? Happen says, you think moving off Stroud at his current value is worth it, or will I be kicking myself in 2 years? I mean, my brother, if you have been tuned to this channel all offseason, we have been encouraging people to tear down from CJ Stroud all the time, nonstop. We've been encouraging people to tear down from CJ Stroud. There's been so many good options. Jordan Love was an option. Kyler Murray was an option. There were so many really good options. Justin Herbert was an option. Anthony Richardson was an option. Joe Burrow was an option. So absolutely, I mean, we've been preaching that the entire offseason, my man. All right, so at the end of round 2, we see Breece, Wilson, Puka, A.J. Brown, Drake London, Jahmyr Gibbs. At the beginning of round 3, we see Malik Neighbors, Brock Purdy, Tyreek Hill, Trevor Lawrence also comes off the board. Yeah. Let's go ahead and grab the Dak stack. We'll grab the Dak stack with CeeDee Lamb there at the 305. Get our quarterback 2 and worry about the rest later. And the man is strictly going quarterbacks here. I actually don't know what Bambino's is. I actually don't know. I've never heard of it. Adam says, thoughts on moving Ramondre and a first for Tyreek? Overall, I'm okay with it, but Tyreek's not really someone I'm like actively buying. I guess if you're on a win now team, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, can they give you a second back in that deal? Like, can you do a pick swap? Maybe that might be a little more reasonable. Fantasy Roll says, what you think of my start? Don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. Let's see how the rest of it gets filled out. What's up, Raver? Says, are you worried about Addison's situation / maturity? No, not really. I mean, look, let's be honest, guys. It might not be right, but every offseason, and unfortunately it's been Addison 2 years in a row, but every offseason we got dudes who are doing stupid things on the roads, and very rarely is it ending up in their careers being jeopardized. What's up, Cameron? He says, what do you think is reasonable for Kincaid? Goddard in a first? Komet plus? Yeah, I think Goddard in a late first, for sure. Maybe you get a third back in that deal. Komet in a first, maybe, you know, something like that. Do me a favor, hit that like button. I got a goal of 50 likes on today's stream. We're already halfway there. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are killing it. Let's get to 50 likes on today's stream. I appreciate y'all big time. All right, so at the end of the third round, we see CMC, Laporta, Olave, Taylor, Goff, Ayuk, Waddle, Collins, Roma, Odunze, all coming off the board. And let's see what comes back to us here. What's up, Styles? He says, who has a better season, Diggs or Keenan Allen? I'm pretty heavily on the Diggs side there myself. Yeah, I'm pretty heavily on the Diggs side of that conversation. I know it's like the popular thing right now to say Stephon Diggs is the third wide receiver in Houston. However, I don't understand how people have that confidence. I don't know where their confidence is coming from when they say that. I think he has just as much as a shot to be the number one in Houston as anyone else. Well, we're going to grab Devon Achane there at the 408. So, yeah, I'm Team Diggs there. A lot of people told me on the redraft channel I was way too high on Diggs. I have him as my wide receiver 16 in redraft formats right now. I do think he sees the most targets in that room, but I wouldn't be surprised however that room pans out. I wouldn't be surprised if Collins, Dell, Diggs lead that room. Now, let me clarify. It's not like I'm having Diggs seeing 170 targets, okay? I have Diggs with 22% of the target share this year. I have Collins with 21, and I think I have Tank Dell with 19 to 20% of the target share. I can't remember exactly how I stacked it up, but it's in that order. And the main reason I have it that way, guys, is because, number one, if you think about Collins and Tank Dell, these are big play, big threat guys. They will be used down the field a lot more than Stephon Diggs will be used down the field, right? Whereas Stephon Diggs, I think, is like your intermediate guy who's going to dominate over the middle, the guy that you can rely on in screens, slants, quick little outs. So that's how I have them ranked at the moment. Collins number 1, Diggs number 2, Tank number 3, but I do have Diggs getting the most targets. We're going to grab our breakout of the year candidate in George Pickens at the 505. So yeah, that's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right, but that is my opinion. What's up, Mystic? He says, land Jason or Rasheed in Dynasty. Hard time choosing. Yeah, I got those guys in the same tier, so I mean, I can't really give you a good answer. I understand why you have a difficult time choosing between them. Let me double check my rankings for you, but like as I sit here right now, I can't tell you I like strongly lean one way or the other. But let's have a look here for you. So we've got Rashee Rice as our wide receiver 29, JSN as our wide receiver 28. I literally cannot make this up. All right, I cannot make this up. JSN at 29, Rice at 28. I can't make this up. I have no strong opinion here to give you, unfortunately, man. Go with your gut. The Texans and Bears wide receiver group is literally like flip a coin. I can see that, yeah. Favorite NFL player all time? Probably Sean Taylor. Probably Sean Taylor. May he rest in peace. Yeah, Sean Taylor for sure. I mean, I can tell you like the jerseys I got growing up. I got LaDainian Tomlinson growing up. I remember having him in fantasy one year. That was so fun. We got a Terrell Owens jersey when he was with the Eagles once. I really liked T.O. growing up. I really was a big fan of RG3 in his rookie year. Hard not to love Michael Vick. He was just so fun to watch. He also came from Virginia. Unfortunately, he came from my least favorite team in Virginia, Virginia Tech. But yeah, I'd probably say Sean Taylor. Liam says, currently have 3 wide receivers and looking to trade one of them plus 2 firsts to get a hammer. Ayuk, Rome, or Nico? Yeah, I'm not sure I would trade 2 firsts for those, plus those guys to go out and get a name, but like if you want to take Ayuk in a first and get yourself in, you know, the Marvin range, I'm cool with that. Amon-Ra, Chase, Jefferson range, but I wouldn't be paying much more. Otherwise, just hold those guys. Those are all guys who could be elite themselves. All right, after Pickens, we saw Flowers, Williams, Higgins, Bowers, Pitts, JSN, Debo, Ladd. Love me some Ladd. He is rising up ADP in redraft, unfortunately. We've also got Brian Thomas, Jordan Addison, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice. And Sizzle is determined to take every running back available. And we're in a spot where wide receivers will get thin here soon, so we will take Xavier Worthy at the 608. We're not his biggest fan. Not that we don't like him. We just have a lot of belief in Rashee Rice. We have a lot of belief in what he did his rookie season. But we'll take Worthy there at the 608. Maybe we'll try and trade him away if that might, you know, if there's some hype in camp. I'm not sure. Again, not anti-Worthy at all. I still think he'll be a really good player in the league. Just a huge fan of Rice. After Worthy, we see Evans, White, Walker off the board. Okay, cool. Drew says, oh, you've been hanging around Mason so long, you're starting to call yourself we. I don't know. Have we been? I don't even know, guys. I don't even know what I say half the time. I'll be honest with you. We've been saying we for a minute, though. Come on, brother. I feel like when I say we, I mean like people who are with me in the community. You know, people who are riding or dying with us. All right, Keon Coleman goes off the board. Maybe I'm doing it. I don't know. Travis Kelce goes off the board. There goes Derrick Henry as well. We'll grab Jaden Reed here. I don't know about you guys, but I have been absolutely loving the Coach Speak Index on Jaden Reed lately. Here's the Coach Speak Index on Jaden Reed as of late. Incredible player. He's building off his rookie season. How many times can we get the ball in his hands? Those are the kind of things we're hearing out of Coach Speak Index. Liam says, is Kendre becoming a buy low? I do think he is. I mean, like, I think there might come a point where you can send a third for Kendre. I think we're getting closer to that point. I don't think anyone's buying him for a second right now. And if you can buy him for a third, it's a very easy buy, I'd say. Arthur says, White goes too high. Last year was a fun risk, not this year. At the 6'10", I don't mind it. I don't mind it at the 6'10". But I can see what you're saying. Scribble says, are you buying into the Chase Brown over Moss news? I'm not buying into it yet. I am open to hearing what the coaches say about that backfield. But no, I wouldn't sit here and tell you like I'm like bought into the narrative. Here's a couple things that the report misses. The report says Chase Brown's getting work with the ones. It does not say Zach Moss is working with the twos, okay? That's an important distinction we need to know. So this one beat report has just spread like wildfire. We need to know, well, is Zach Moss also working with the ones? Because you didn't clarify that. That's something that we need clarified, right? So we'll find out very soon. Keep in mind, they've been practicing without pads. You actually can see on my Twitter, I retweeted and quoted it. Zach Taylor actually comes out and says, look, we're feeling good about the room. I want to see what it looks like with pads on. And he specifically talks about pass protection when he mentions looking at this room with pads on. So I think there's a lot of important information that no one had when he said that. So as quarterbacks just get completely ravaged this round. So yeah, ultimately, like, look, I'm open to Chase Brown being the guy. I am still betting on Chase Brown myself. Sorry, Zach Moss myself. I'm still betting on Zach Moss myself. But like I said, I'm open to the conversation. I'm open to hearing what the coaches say. I don't want to be so sold on one particular thought or opinion. I mean, if y'all are going to give me Davante Adams in the 8th round, I'll take him. I'll take Davante Adams in round 8. But yeah, so like I said, I think like there's still a lot of important information that's yet to come out. And what we know about Chase Brown is he was awful at pass protection last year. That's why he didn't outplay Travion Williams, if you will. So I'm open to the conversation, but I am hesitantly listening, right? No, you're good, Joseph. You're good. Pause. Yes, Logan, pause. Chase over Jefferson at the 105 in Superflex. It's not what I would do. If I was at the 105, I'd take a quarterback in Superflex, but unless it's like a 10-man, then you can consider wide receiver. I love that, Blue. You got Jaden Daniels at the 303. That's cash. I love it. Liam says Rashad's going to feast this year. Liam Cohen has always used a bell cow back. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Rachaad White. He's a pretty good pick in like redraft leagues too, I'd say. Man, y'all like destroyed the quarterback position. There is no value, and I was very curious to see what Sizzle was going to do at quarterback. I do not think Sizzle was betting on that run of quarterbacks to go off the board there in the 7th, 8th round. At the 707, he had Bryce Young, Cousins, Mayfield, Nix, Penix. He was chilling. And then the 806 hit, and he was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. I got to get my quarterback. All right, we'll grab Evan Ingram here at the 905 as our tight end 1. We feel good about that. Love Jalen Polk. Have loved the reports coming out of camp on Jalen Polk. One of those guys we really like drafting in the 2nd round of fantasy drafts or dynasty rookie drafts this year, rather. It's good to see him really establishing himself. I mean, from all reports, he is the number 1 in New England. Blue says we're into round 3. I got Chase, Jaden Daniels have 2 firsts and 3 seconds next year. I love it. Love it. Love it. 369 says White for being a top 5 running back is being disrespected. Love to see it. How are we going with our light goal, guys? Are we at 50? Are we close? The goal is 50 today. We are currently at 39. Okay, so we're only 11 likes away from our goal of 50. Be a friend, hit that like button. Let's get to 50 together. I think we can do it. I think we can do it, gang. All right, so after Polk, we see Rodgers. Then we see Stevenson, Hollywood Brown, Jamison Williams, Joe Mixon, David Njoku, Geno Smith off the board. And I am glad I went tight end there because it was kind of like a tier that I didn't want to miss out on. I was betting on Polk being there on the comeback. Shout out to Kim K. But that's all right. Yeah, good to see Bryce Young having a good camp. I appreciate you, Logan. Very kind. You know what's funnier than 39? 40. Anybody else grow up on SpongeBob? I freaking love SpongeBob, man. That was my ish growing up. That was my plug, if you will. All right. And the man's about to make his pick here. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? A little TJ Hawkinson at the 706, and I like it. All right, fantastic. Our goal was to get Zamir White in the 10th round. When we went Achane at the 408, we said, let's anchor Achane. Let's get Zamir White in the 10th round, and that's exactly what we've done. So that's good to hear. Very good to hear. Yeah, I don't think Zamir White's a superstar, but I do think he has a chance to improve his value from one year to another. Think about what Rachaad White did, right? I mean, I know Rachaad White is going to catch a lot more balls than Zamir White, but I think Zamir White will have a lot more opportunities inside of the 10-yard line to score a rushing touchdown in his offense. So I could see a similar rise, maybe not to the same extent, but I could see a similar rise. And it's good to know that Zamir White was actually really good when he was the starter for this team. So that's got to be comforting. So we see Keenan Allen, Judy, Zach Moss off the board. Scribble says, my parents hated me watching SpongeBob, thought it would make me dumb or something. Yeah, my parents thought the same. Ultimately, unfortunately, they were right. They were right. Sometimes they're right, guys. Sometimes they know what they're talking about. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just joking. Huh. Interesting. We are going to go ahead and we'll grab Jalen Wright here at the 11:05. Try to lock up that Dolphins backfield for the future. If there's going to be a surprise in Miami, we're going to be ready for it. We're damn well going to be ready for it. Drusa says, I used to love SpongeBob, but don't let my son watch it now that I realize how mind-numbing it is. Yeah, I mean, you'd be like Saturday morning, some Fruit Loops, just mindlessly watching it. You know, some dribble down your mouth. Yep. That's right. Not another draft today, guys. I am going to be reviewing a couple people's dynasty teams today after the draft, though. Does Adunze lose value with the DJ Moore signing? Kyle, for me, Adunze is not going to lose value in my rankings, but I already had Adunze and DJ Moore ranked as if DJ Moore was the #1 wide receiver there for the next couple of years. So I'm sure in community rankings, absolutely his value will change, but in my rankings, I have no reason to move them. I already thought DJ Moore was going to be there personally. Liam says, what would you say has been the most low-key training camp news that could be huge for fantasy? For me, it's Jalen Polk, man. It really is Jalen Polk. Yeah, I've said this on our redraft channel, and like I said, guys, even if you're not playing Dynasty, or even if you're not playing redraft and you're only playing Dynasty, I can't emphasize this enough. You will still glean a lot of really good information from our redraft channel. And one thing we've been talking about is comparing the Houston wide receiver room last year to the Patriots wide receiver room this year, right? You had a rookie quarterback coming in. No one expected CJ Stroud to do what he did. What happens if Drake May's actually good? What happens if Drake May's actually a superstar, right? Well, we know from reports that Jalen Polk looks like the wide receiver 1 in camp. I mean, if Drake May's actually good, Jalen Polk could be a startable asset like a Jaden Reed of the 2024 season. So, yeah, I think that'd be my answer there. All right, we will. I can't stomach to do it. We'll take a shot on Roman Wilson. Why not at the 1208? All right. Just take some time, get healthy, and we'll see what else is out there. Style says live in San Diego during Comic-Con. Oh, I thought you were doing like a bit there. Live in San Diego. My bad. You said live in San Diego. During Comic-Con, they had on one of the buildings from downtown with Patrick and SpongeBob, and it said, what's funnier than 24, 25? I love it. SpongeBob taught us about friendship. No matter how dumb or mean your peeps are, they still got your back. Exactly. Exactly. I loved Ed, and Eddie, man. I grew up on Ed, and Eddie. I mean, we all grew up probably on, you know, the same shows. Regular show was nice, yeah. All right, so Charbonnet goes off the board at the 12-11. Then Quentin Johnston. Get your big old Quentin Johnston out. You know, Quentin Johnston's not having a good camp. From what I hear, there's a... It's, you know, it's so sad you have to laugh. There's a video going around of him, and it's an angle where you can see both the offense and the defense, and he's trying to track a ball down in the end zone, and the offense all thinks he catches it. So they're like excited. They're like, touchdown. And the defense can all see that he dropped it, and they're like, no. So like at the same time, there's excitement on both ends. And unfortunately, it was another Quentin Johnston drop. Unfortunately. Poor guy. I mean, you got to laugh, otherwise you'll cry. Am I right? Okay, so the other news I'd say is Javon Baker. Javon Baker's having a really good camp. We'll take Javon Baker here at the 1305. If you can't get Polk, try and get Baker next. I do think in like a year's time, the wide receivers to own will be Polk and Baker. So I think those will be the guys that you'll want to own in that backfield. Mystic says, read my last comment. Okay, let's have a look. Where's your comment? Mystic says, 14 team Superflex start 11, 1.5 tight end premium. All right, he's saying get Kincaid a second and a third. Or give Purdy. Okay, hold on. Let's read this. My brother just gave me a map to the national hidden treasure, and I got to figure this out here. Okay, let's figure this out again. No, I'm kidding, Mystic. Okay, so give Purdy, get Kincaid a second and a third. Okay. 14-team league. There's a 1.5 premium on tight ends. Who's your tight end if you don't have Kincaid? The other option is give Purdy, get JSN or Rasheed. Is that the 101? What do you mean by pick one? Oh, pick one of those names. A 25 first. All right, chat. Let's help Mystic Flame out here. What do you guys think? So you have Caleb, Herbert, Kyler, Purdy. So Purdy is expendable in a 14-team league. You know, I don't mind the Purdy deal where you get Kincaid. I actually love that in a tight end premium. I'm curious if we can counter. And instead of it being a second and a third, can we make it Kincaid in a first and we'll give you Purdy in a second? That would be my counter. All right. Hey, we're almost there. The deal is getting very close. Just meet me in the middle here. You send a counter. I'll get Kincaid in a first. You get Purdy in a second. And let's call it a damn deal, right? That's how I would do it. All right, I'm on the clock here. And man, I have let this guy fall 3 rounds now. I've thought about drafting him 3 rounds in a row. I guess we'll take him at the 1408. We'll take Danny Dimes. I definitely wanted to get into the range of a Mayfield, a Nix, a Penix, a Young, a Watson, a Levis. I just couldn't end up doing it. And unfortunately, JK or GK takes my favorite player of the cycle last year, Jalen McMillan, who's getting so much love in camp. We love to see it. He doesn't want to give his first at all. then ask for 2 seconds instead of the third, right? So counter with ask for 2 seconds and you give him a third. Does that make sense? So you get Kincaid, 2 second-round picks. He gets Purdy in a third. That would be my other counter if he doesn't want to give his first. But most of the chat's saying Kincaid, guys, so hopefully that's helpful, Mystic. And if your tight ends are Sinnott and Kmet, definitely Kincaid's a huge upgrade for you, man. Thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate you. Appreciate you big time. So Vidal goes off the board. And look, I don't really want to make this pick. I really don't want to make this pick, but I feel like it's a value at this point. We'll grab Russell Wilson at the 15:05. So we do end up with 4 quarterbacks, but we just take the last 2 in the 14th and 15th round. What's up, Jacob? Welcome in, my man. Welcome in. Baker was the stud at UCF. Yes, sir. Yeah, he was a fun watch. He was a really, really fun watch when we were going through film for that class, last class. T says, I went to UCF, and strangely enough, he's been shocking to me in training camp, as I swear he wasn't this good at UCF. Well, maybe the quarterback play wasn't as good. You know, that could be a part to play too. What's up, Kyle? What are my expectations for Brian Thomas this year? I got a video coming out tomorrow, and the video highlights teams that have vacated targets and players who could step in and really go hard. And I think Brian is one of those names. That video will be on our redraft channel, like we said earlier, Fantasyland Football. I'll put a link to that in the chat. But we do talk about quite a few rookies on that video. And there will also be a little database on the Flock Fantasy website for you guys to see that will show you all the vacated targets as well. But yeah, there's a lot of targets up for grab in Jacksonville. A lot of targets up for grab. But guys, we are going to review someone's Dynasty team tonight. All right. That is where we're headed next. So hopefully you still want to hang out. If you don't, that's totally okay. We are going to review Alex's Dynasty team here. Appreciate you, Alex, for the support. Appreciate you for helping this channel grow. And becoming a member. It looks like you were a member, Alex. So we appreciate you big time, my man. All right, heads up. If you want your team reviewed, I'll send 2 links in the chat. All right, the first option is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member on the Flock Fantasy website. All right, when you become a yearly member, it is the best bang for your buck. You get access to all of the articles and databases that all of us drop. You get access to all of our rankings, Dynasty, redraft. You get access to the trade calculator, the best calculator in the industry. Every tool on the website you get access to. And you also get access to a free team review when you become a yearly member. Okay, so that is available if you want to become a yearly member. The other option is maybe you are supporting a different creator on the website and you use a different promo code at sign up. That's okay. You can still get a team review from us with the link that I just put in the chat. Now, that link is going to take you to a site that looks like this. Okay, just so we're all on the same page. Now, obviously, hopefully you have an account. If not, just quickly set one up. Not very difficult. And then sync your leagues and tell us what league you want us to look at. So let's say you use the promo code FLOCK at sign up, but you want me to review your team on a live stream. Very, very simple. Again, just link your leagues here. All right, choose whatever team it is that you want me to review. Put whatever Discord information you want in here. And when you hit continue, you will see Zach and Badaki from the Land Crew. That's where you can get your team reviewed by us. So let's try and show you what that looks like here. So we'll add our team. We'll make sure our rookie picks are correct. They are correct. We'll add our Discord name, any information that you guys want us to know. Click continue. There's Zach and Badaki there. There's 3 options. Every review will be live streamed, so don't worry. But if you want it live streamed straight away, if you want to skip the queue, that's an option. If you want to get 2 reviews for a better price, that's an option as well. And then you just hit continue. Okay, so those are the ways you can get your team reviewed. Now we will go ahead and we will look at Alex, who submitted a team review. Proofy says, I love these reviews. Where's my skip ad option? I love it. I love it. But those are the two ways you guys can get your team reviewed. All right. So let's look at Alex's team here. All right. So not a lot of information. He says additional 25 first is John Bueno. We don't have a ton of information. Hopefully Alex got my messages and he's with us. If you are, let me know, brother, if you're in the chat. We don't have a lot of information on this team, though. We don't really know, his thoughts on his team. We don't really know if there's any special scoring that we might miss, but we'll try our best here. Okay, so his team name we know is Murray's Midgets, and he is currently ranked 2nd in his league. And if we look at my rankings in Dynasty, I would have him ranked 1st. So actually, I like you a little bit better than the community does. In my rankings, you would be higher than in the communities. So you do have a 1st, which is your own. And you mentioned that you have an extra 1st. And it's from John Bueno 13. So where's John Bueno? John Bueno is down here. He's got Mahomes, but outside of Mahomes, he's also got Amon-Ra. Not a bad team, but you do have his 1st-round pick as well. Okay, so this is a 12-man, start 9 PPR, no super flex, and no tight end premium. So a start 9, 1 quarterback. We're looking at 3 flex spots or 3 wide receivers in your starting lineup. That is going to be what you can do. So your starting lineup is probably Kyler Murray. At running back, you're really not able to start anyone right away with Trey Benson right. Like, there's no one really of note there that you can start right now. At wide receiver, though, you can start Chase, Marvin Harrison. And then at the flex spot, you can start Devonta Smith, JSN, Xavier Worthy, or Hollywood Brown. And then we've got Kyle Pitts. So really, this looks a lot like a team I might build, where I prioritize every position outside of running back. So why don't we have a look at this team? I would say if I give you a grade from an A to an F, I'd say this is a solid B. I'd say you're a solid B right now. Just a straight B across the board. B with the potential to be a B+, okay? Main path forward. Man, I don't know. We'll look at some trade options, but I'm not sure we should force anything right now. From indications, you have 2 first-round picks in 2025. I'm a huge fan of the 2025 class. Our team is very young. I don't know that I would feel the need to absolutely force anything. But maybe we can buy some veteran running backs. That might be the option. Let's say path forward is look at cheap vet running backs and keep your firsts. All right, so cheap veteran running backs. What do I mean when I say that? Well, let's have a look, because there's quite a few people in that list, right? If we look at my rankings, for example, cheap veteran running backs, some might be cheaper than others, but like your Joe Mixons of the world, your Alvin Kamara's of the world, Mixon, Kamara, maybe Henry, depending on your league. Aaron Jones comes to mind for sure as a very, very cheap option. Montgomery, maybe this is a Zamir White team too. If you can get him for a second, it might be worth it. I don't mind a Javonte buy here either. But like a Javonte, a Brian Robinson, even James Conner, maybe because you have Benson. What did we say? We said, we just said a couple names and my mind went blank. We said Brian Robinson. Yeah, we said Brian Robinson and Javonte. Just guys that are affordable right now, affordable bets. And I'll throw Raheem Mostert in there if you can lock up right as well in that deal. Okay, so Mixon is a very affordable option. Let's see who has Joe Mixon. And we are trying to give you a chance to compete this year, but also keep those first round picks so you can stack up on really good running backs next year. Okay, so the guy who has Joe Mixon also has Montgomery, Chubb, and Mostert. So this could definitely be a team that we target. They're currently ranked as the worst team in the league. So they definitely could be a target. I mean, they could be looking at their team and thinking, man, we could use some draft capital right now. So I feel like Mixon, Monty, and Mostert are our targets from this team. So if you can get Mixon or Monty and send a second for those names, I think we definitely should do it. The other option is if you can send a third plus something for Mostert, I think we do it. Let's say a third plus. What could we send his way? Like a third and Trey Palmer, maybe something like simple like that. That might land you into Mostert. And then if you get Mostert, let's go out and try and get Jalen Wright too. Only do this deal if you know you can get both. You've already got Jalen Wright. Sorry, yeah, I'm an idiot. So that's perfect. Like Mostert is literally the perfect addition for your team, actually. Perfect. You've already got Mostert. Or Wright, my bad. All right, how about Kamara? Who has Kamara? Kamara might be a little more difficult to acquire. But the team who has Kamara has Jerome Ford. That's not a bad name to shout out to. Moss, Saquon. So can we, like the Joe Mixon one, can we send that for Kamara? He also has Ford. So can we send like 2/3 for Jerome Ford? Maybe that is a way that you can keep your draft capital, your important picks. Other names that we can look at, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones should be very affordable. I haven't heard from anyone in any format who likes Aaron Jones. I mean, I love him in redraft leagues this year, but in Dynasty, I haven't heard a single soul be like, yeah, I definitely want to keep Aaron Jones on my team, you know? So I think we can wiggle our way into a deal. Let's send Aaron Jones. Let's send a third plus Quentin Johnston, maybe, right? A third plus Quentin Johnston for Aaron Jones. Maybe we can add a fourth to our side. I like that idea. How about Zamir White? Who has Zamir White in your league? So the guy who has Zamir White, that's like his RB4. And his wide receiver room is not very good. So how about we send him like Hollywood Brown? I think that actually makes a ton of sense for you. If you want to send him Hollywood Brown straight up for Zamir White, I like that idea. The other option is you could just, like we said earlier with Mixon, Monty Kamara, you could send a second for Zamir White as well. Brian Robinson. Who has Brian Robinson? So Brian Robinson is on Adam Sandler's Uncut Gems, and it's currently his fourth running back. He also has Derrick Henry. So there's definitely some moves we might be able to make with him. Derrick Henry and Brian Robinson. So I think this is more like the Jerome Ford path with Brian Robinson. So if you can send 2/3 for B-Rob, we do that. If you can send a second for Henry, we do that. Alternatively, what you could do is like a Hollywood plus a third for Henry, maybe. Considering how deep he is at running back, that might work. Again, just giving you as many options, as many foots in the door, if you will. How about Javonte? Who's got Javonte? Now, this is a very risky one because I can't tell you. I don't know that anyone can truly tell you what the Denver backfield will look like this year. But his wide receiver room is so weak. Can you just send him? I mean, Hollywood always seems to be the guy we want to send, isn't it? Can you send him Hollywood? I think Hollywood's more valuable. So let's say Hollywood plus something for Javonte plus something, right? And maybe that's like Hollywood and let's just say a second. Or sorry, a third for Javonte and a second. I mean, you can settle on a straight swap, right? And the other options we talked about was Mostert and White. So that's really the main running backs I'd say. Let's say we pull off 2 of these deals, okay? Let's say we send away Quentin Johnston, we end up with Aaron Jones. And let's say we also do the Mostert deal, okay? So in this scenario, the only thing we've gotten rid of is Trey Palmer, Quentin Johnston, and 2 third-round picks. We've gotten back Aaron Jones and Raheem Mostert. Now you've got a team that's ready to compete. You're going to start Raheem Mostert, and if he gets injured, you have Jalen Wright. You're going to start Aaron Jones, and now your RB3 this year will be Trey Benson. And if James Conner goes down, you got another starter there with Trey Benson. The rest of your lineup is good enough to go out and compete, so you're going to field a lineup that has Kyler Murray, Aaron Jones, Raheem Mostert, Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison, Devonta Smith, JSN, Xavier Worthy, or one of the running backs, and Kyle Pitts. And you still keep your 2 first-round picks in 2025. You know, so that is a really great option. And then in 2025, we've already highlighted on the channel how good the running backs are. So I think that could make a ton of sense for your team. You go out and you're kind of this hybrid where you're competing right now, but you also have draft capital for the future. So yeah. Cameron says, so if I buy the 90, you'll do it right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. That's what those are for. So it will, if you're a member, you'll get a discount on it, but it's this tier right here, okay, where it says instant live review. So yeah, if you do that right now, I will review your team right here, right now. Absolutely. That's what it's for. It's for anyone who is watching and they're saying, oh, this is awesome. I want this to happen for me right now. That's why that option is there for you, brother. But overall, man, Alex, without any context, I do think that's a really great path moving forward for you. Again, how many veteran running backs can you buy? I mean, I wouldn't even mind like also picking up another veteran with our second. Like, if you can go out and send Hollywood in a third for Henry or Hollywood for Zamir White, that's only going to give you a better shot this year. Even if you want to give up the second for Zamir White, who a lot of people are a little bit hesitant on, I still think that's great. So let's say worst case scenario, you lost a second and 2 third-round picks, okay? What would your team look like? All right, so these 2 seconds are gone. Or sorry, this second is gone. You lose a third and maybe the future third as well. Well, that's completely fine because we still have so much draft capital that we can work with, whether we select players or use those picks to get better veterans. I think that is the best path moving forward for you. By far the best way to go with this team. So yeah, I'm a fan of your team, man. I'm a fan of your team. Y'all know I'm a Kyler Murray guy. I think he's going to have a great year. Y'all know I'm a Trey Benson guy as well. If James Conner goes down, there is no ceiling for a Trey Benson. Kyle Pitts should finally break out. And in my rankings, you're already ranked number 1 across the league. So, well done, man. Really well done. Is there any other player I'd like sell high on? I don't think so. Like, I'm not going to sell high on Kyler because that doesn't exist. I'm definitely building around Chase and Harrison. We're not going to sell Smith or JSN or Worthy or Kyle Pitts. So I don't really think there is another sell high, to be honest. Just my personal opinion there. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you big time. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for showing some love. Hopefully that is helpful. Overall, like I said, we want to go the route where we buy veterans. We don't spend our future first round picks. And that is hopefully going to allow us to compete right now. And then using those first round picks next year to get good running backs to continue to compete. So overall, really, really well done, man. I appreciate you big time. And I'm going to send you this screenshot so you have access to it. Make sure you bookmark this stream. It will never be deleted. You'll always have access to this stream as well. And we're going to mark you complete. I really appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you big time. Now, SteelCurtain, it looks like he did purchase the instant live team review. So we will go ahead and review your team, Cameron. I appreciate you. Guys, if you want to do what Cameron just did, very, very simple. I'll put a link in the chat for you now. Click this link if you want your team reviewed straight away. If you want to jump the queue, click this link. And it'll take you to a website that looks like, let me show you. The website will look like this, all right? Doesn't matter what promo code you used at sign up, but you use, tell us what league you're in. Show us the team that you want us to review. Make sure that your rookie picks are correct. Enter your Discord name, any information you want me to know. Click continue, and then you've got the live option right here where you can skip the queue and then hit checkout for Zach and Badaki. But we are going to go ahead and review SteelCurtain's team. Proofy says, let's keep Zach here all night. Oh, you guys are funny. I mean, I'll share a vulnerable moment with you guys. Not vulnerable, but an exciting moment, really, is what I would say. We do have more free time now because we were able to hire an editor. And the only reason we were able to hire an editor is because of you guys. If you have become a yearly member with our Code Land, if you've bought a team review, if you've dropped a super chat, if you've liked the content, consistently watched it, whatever, you have helped us hire an editor. So we appreciate you guys. Seriously, every time that you donate, you are helping this channel grow. You're helping Badaki and myself, and you're helping us create better content for yourselves. So I appreciate you guys big time. Seriously, it means a lot. And I'm glad we're able to, I'm glad people see the value in what we do. And I'm glad that we're able to also just build a community together, which is incredible. But shout out to SteelCurtain here. So he did submit a instant team review. He said this is fresh out of the startup, and we do have him here on the live stream. So, I mean, just in case, SteelCurtain, I will send this link to the live stream in the chat, but just bookmark this. Just bookmark this. It'll never be taken down, right? And sorry, the reason I said that is because we have more free time now. We have more free time to, to do certain things. So I absolutely can stay on as long as there's reviews to go. So anyway, all right, let's get to this review. The good news is we have Steel Mob in the chat with us. Or sorry, SteelCurtain, my bad. Okay, so in the community rankings, they would rank you right now the second team. It's very obvious that you just finished a startup because there's overall a lot of balance across the board. Now, if you use my rankings, I would actually have you number one as well. So I like your team a little bit more than the average person. I wonder, and I'm not going to say that you did, but I wonder, did you happen to look at my rankings when you were doing your startup? Was that helpful at all? Because obviously I like your team more than the average person. But this is a 12-team PPR start 10 Superflex tight end premium. So we're in a Superflex tight end premium start 10, right? So we're looking at this. This is a bigger league. All right. You can start up to 5 receivers as well as the Superflex spot. So I like that a lot. Fresh off a startup, we've got Drake May, we've got Dak Prescott, Bo Nix, and Baker Mayfield. So as of right now, I think it's safe to say, look, you don't have any elite name, right? I think we can be on the same page. I think Drake May has a talent to become that. So that's exciting to have that wild card in your lineup. And I also think Bo Nix is more disrespected than he should be. So I really like the quarterback room you've put together. Dak and Baker are going to start for you this year. That's a really good 1-2 combo. At running back, this looks like a team I might build because I did not focus on running backs, right? That's probably why I like your team a lot. You got DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford. So you went running back late, obviously. Excuse me, I'm going to stand up. And let me get some water. So you went running back late with DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford. That's a group of 3 running backs that I'm okay with. Like, clearly none of us are absolutely thrilled off our pants about these 3 names. But the point is they are startable assets, and you built your team around the other positions, right? With CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Zay Flowers. You've also got Christian Kirk, Josh Downs, Quentin Johnston. I like the Javon Baker pick. And we've also got Dalton Kincaid in a tight end premium. So I will say a little bit thin considering how big your league is. But if we had to say your ideal starting lineup right now, it's probably Dak, Baker, right? That's 2. Swift, Warren is 3. CeeDee, Puka, Zay Flowers is... Sorry, that's 2, 4, 7. Dalton Kincaid is 8. Then we can flex Christian Kirk and maybe Jerome Ford, maybe Josh Downs, maybe Javon Baker. So you definitely have a good starting lineup, definitely. It's just about finding that last flex spot. The good news is you have all of your first round picks next year and in 2026. So we didn't sacrifice any first round picks in this startup. I like the team, man. I'm a big fan of the team. This looks like a team that I would draft. You know what I mean? Like, this looks like a team I would draft. It's funny, actually, we just did a startup today, and my first 3 picks had Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. You have Dak Prescott, you have CeeDee Lamb. I wonder if you went a similar strategy there as I did in today's mock draft. But I like the team a lot. Let's go ahead and grade this team from an A to an F with the understanding that it is fresh off a startup. So a lot of teams haven't made bad decisions yet. There haven't been bad trades. There's a lot of even, spread teams across the board. So overall, with the weaknesses at running back, you're definitely not an A team. We have to be honest. But with the strengths at tight end, wide receiver, and the depth at quarterback, I'd put you at a solid B. Right? If this was like a start 9, I think you're a B+. In a start 10, I think I'm going to say a straight B. Still a very good team. Like, to come out of a startup with a B range team, that means you did very good. Like, you can absolutely come out of startup with a D- team because you drafted really poorly. You drafted really, really well. Main path forward, that's a good question, man. What is the main path forward? I think you could potentially look to sell Baker Mayfield if there's a team out there that makes sense. That's going to leave you with Dak and Nix and May of those 3 to start. So Baker could be someone we could look to sell. But we're not selling Lamb or Puka. Actually, I'm not 1,000% opposed to tearing down from Puka, so we'll explore that. I think those are really the main options that we can explore right now. There's not a lot of options, but I would say a Baker Mayfield or a Puka Nacua trade. All right, so let's put these guys in here. And not that we have to move them, right? And as far as like the main path forward, I would just say start exploring micro transactions, right? So let's start with Mayfield. What am I doing? Baker. What can we get for Baker? What's a team that needs quarterback in your league? So B. Davo could definitely use a quarterback. He's got Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. My guy's on struggle street right now. So can we turn Baker Mayfield plus something into Nico Collins, for example? Probably not Malik Neighbors, but Baker plus what equals Nico or Malik. Okay, so this is not a microtransaction. This is actually a pretty big deal. But if we were to give him, let's say, Baker Mayfield and like, oh, see, this is tough because you'd have to go Zay Flowers. How about Christian Kirk? What if we could give him, let's take Malik out of it. That's not happening. But what about Baker and Christian Kirk? Would he consider that? Probably not, but offer it. His quarterback room is absolute dog water. There's no reason not to offer it. The other option is we could go for something smaller. Like, here's what you could do. Plain and simple, give him Baker Mayfield, ask for a first-round pick. Do you know what I mean? So Baker, and let's try and get his 2025 first-round pick from this team that is named B. Davo. All right? B. Davo. B. Davo might think he's a quarterback away from really competing. So can we get his 25 first? That still gives you a good quarterback room. It gives you extra draft capital next year to kind of explore building out that running back room, which is a weakness of yours. So I think that's definitely an option for you. We also talked about Puka Nacua. So can we tear down from Puka and can we get Malik Neighbors? Is that possible? What could we do? Could we get Puka and could we send Puka in a second? Can we get Malik and a first? That's the kind of tear down I'm thinking of right there. I mean, can we get more? You know your league a little bit better. Like, is Puka worth more in your league? Can you just get Malik and a first and send Puka in a third? You'll know your league better than me. So I think those are the two options with him. We got another team that has Kyler, Goff, and Carr. Look, we're not going to have much leverage in that deal. And we don't want to tear down from Puka all the way to Ladd either. So that's not a good team to match with. How about the guy who has Herbert and Young? Well, he also has Watson. So that might be tough. Yeah, that might be too tough there. I mean, yeah, that's not going to work. This guy has Caleb and JJ. And he looks like he's a very young team. I wonder if we can send him Baker Mayfield and find our way into a Jaden Reed. How about something like that? How about Baker plus a third? You might have to do this as a straight swap, to be honest with you, actually. Jaden Reed. Baker for Jaden Reed. And maybe what you could throw into that deal to benefit yourself. Throw in, like, Brian Robinson or something, you know? So, like, let's try and throw in Jaden Reed and Brian Robinson, and you're going to give him Baker and who's a low-level player on your team. That would make sense. You're going to give him Baker and, like, what, Quentin Johnston maybe? See if that works over a straight swap, but you can obviously settle for a straight swap as well. I think that makes a lot of sense for you, especially in the start 10. That's going to give you a little more strength at a position that you need some more strength in with the flex spots that you're trying to figure out. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really see another obvious team for Baker Mayfield. Maybe actually Team Henty, who after Jalen Hurts is pretty naked. He's pretty naked after Jalen. So I wonder if we could go the route of like a... How about Baker for Tank? What would that even get you in that ballroom? Like, can you send Baker plus QJ for Tank Dell, for example? Like that's a game changer for you, I think. There's not a clear tear down from Puka, unfortunately. This guy doesn't need quarterback. Okay, MMW with Josh Allen certainly could look at a quarterback too that's more reliable. I like the idea of like a Metcalf or a Rice here. So let's say Baker for Metcalf. Maybe we send a third for Metcalf. I think you can do Baker. Like, let's say the same Jaden Reed deal we'll do for Rice. But we need to figure out who Brian Robinson is in this format. So Brian Robinson's actually like Marshawn Lloyd, for example. That guy could definitely use a good quarterback too. 100%. Every other team, though, is pretty set at quarterback. We're not going to have much leverage. However, I'd like to look at tier down options from Puka. Because you're in a larger league, I'm 100% open to tearing down if it means we can field a better roster. So how about Drake London? Drake London comes to mind as a real option to tier down to. Okay, so who has London in your league? Okay, so this team does not have Drake London. Come on. Show me Drake London. All right, we're going to have to manually find Drake London. There he is. So this guy has London, Adunze, JSN. So he's got a pretty deep wide receiver room. I wonder if we can get London and like... Do you guys think you can get London and... Ooh. Okay, well, let's just try the obvious. Okay, let's try the obvious. Drake London and a first. Okay. The other option is you go Puka for Drake London, and it's going to have to be one of those other receivers. Like, clearly, if you can get Rome Odunze, I think you do it. That might be asking for too much. But how about London and like a JSN? I think it'd have to be JSN Corum for it to make sense for us. So JSN plus Corum. And we're going to give you back Puka plus Quentin Johnston. All right, who's another receiver that could make sense in a tier down? Nico Collins. Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle. Let's try those two. So, obviously, Nico Collins, you should be able to get more than Drake London based on how the community currently values Nico Collins. All right, where is Nico? Where are you at, brother? We're trying to find Nico. Here he is from B. Davo. So, can we get Nico? Yeah, there's not a lot here to get excited about outside the wide receiver room. But can we get Nico and his first? Let's say Nico Burton and his first. That's how we would tier down there. Okay, so Nico, a first, and Jermaine Burton. That's our tier down there. I think that guy's team is going to be pretty close to a top 6 pick, too. Other option we talked about was Waddle. So who has Waddle? Okay, so MM21 has Waddle. Can you get like Waddle Rice in a first? That would be huge, I think. I don't know if you can pull that off, but let's just say hypothetically, Jalen Waddle, a first, and Rice. If you can do that, that's a huge win for you considering the format. In fact, I'd definitely be willing to throw in QJ to sweeten the deal. But like, I think I'd even be willing to like throw in like a third or something, or a pick swap if they want. That's another really, really great tier down option for you. We don't want to go too far, but I guess Ayuk is the last tier down option we can consider. I think Ayuk, we need to get a pretty big deal like with Waddle. But let's see who has Ayuk. Okay, so first-time fantasy player has Ayuk. That could be beneficial to us. So we're going to need Ayuk. We're going to need Pickens. and we're going to need your first round pick. Okay? It's a lot to ask for, but we are tearing down significantly here. And we're going to give you QJ in a third, just like we talked about earlier. All right, so those are some options with your team. First off, very good team. Like we mentioned, coming out of a startup, everyone's teams should be very close. You currently have an edge in my rankings. I would have you ranked as the #1 overall team. Overall, we're going to give you a straight B. If there's a way where you can tier down and get some really good receivers and get some extra draft capital for next year, that's going to help you build out that running back room. Baker Mayfield is a expendable, he's someone that we can send away to improve the team overall. We talked about tearing down from Puka Nacua. Definitely we're keeping Dalton Kincaid. Definitely we're keeping Drake May and Dak Prescott. And of course, CeeDee Lamb as well. So that's a lot of options there for you, my man. Hopefully that is helpful, Cameron. Let me know if you're still in the chat, and if you have any questions, if there's anything that I didn't specifically answer that you had a question on, please feel free to hit me up now and let me know. But I like the direction you went. Like I said, this definitely looks like a team that I would have made myself. Cameron says, thanks, bro. Very in-depth. I appreciate you, man. That's good to hear. That's what I want. That's what I want to offer you guys, is in-depth reviews, as many options out there as possible. So we are going to go ahead. I just sent no message. Here we go. Sorry. We're going to go ahead and send you this screenshot. You should be able to screenshot that on your end and save it. But keep, this live stream going. It'll never be taken down, so you'll always have access to it. But that's probably going to be it for today, guys. I appreciate y'all big time. Next time we are live, I just want to let this person know in case he's watching. Next time we are live, we are going to go through JC Plummer's team. So JC Plummer, I might even look at that tomorrow on the redraft channel, JC, if you're watching. So keep that in mind. But guys, if you want your teams reviewed, you know how to do it by now. We appreciate you. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. I'll see you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your night. All love.